Are you ready? Are you ready for the biggest blockbuster event of the year so far? Well, other than Deadpool, but that's a whole other story. I'm talking about Batman versus Superman. This movie, since it was announced back in 2013, I think it was, I was stoked from the get-go. You know, Henry Cavill, did I say it right? Anyways, he did great in Man of Steel. I love Man of Steel. That was a great movie. Ben Affleck, not a lot of people like him as an actor. I do. A lot of his stuff recently that he's been doing has been great. Argo, The Town, and just a lot of things that he's been acting in and even directing. He's really stepped his game up. So once they announced him as Batman, I was okay with it. Would I rather see Christian Bale? Yeah, because I wanted a continuation of the story. But I get it. Sometimes you just got to reboot things. And it's fine. You know, movie's a movie. People are going to go see it, period. But anyways, on the show today, my special guest, Brandon Hosegood. Me and him is going to sit down and we're going to break down Batman and Superman. I'm going to put them to a little, how well do you know your Batman and Superman actors, people who have played these legendary roles. And other than that, let's see what happens. Let's start the show. Hey everybody, welcome to the show. Welcome to Do I Talk Too Much? With me, your host, Nick Jeremy. How's everyone doing? I'm doing great. I'm currently driving, trying to get to my band youth rehearsal, practice, whatever you want to call it. But there are detours everywhere. So I'm having to drive around traffic just to get to the church. Every road near the church is closed. I should have took the other way. That's what I should have done. Didn't even think about it. But welcome to the show, guys. Today's legendary episode is going to feature the blockbuster that comes out this Friday, March 25th, Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. Now, if you're a comic book lover, or a Batman lover, or a DC lover, or a fan of action movies, or a fan of hero movies, period, you're going to love this movie. Hopefully. Let me not say that, because what if the movie stinks? If the movie stinks, I'm going to eat my words. But anyways, the trailers look amazing. I'm excited. I already pre-purchased my tickets. That's how excited I am. I'm going to go see it this Friday. But today, my special guest on the show is going to be an alumni of the show, Brandon Hosegood. And I really enjoy this episode. I really enjoy talking to Brandon about this stuff. He has a knowledge of not just, you know, superhero movies and stuff. He has a knowledge of movies, period. And I really do enjoy his knowledge. So, but anyways, I'm going to try to get out of this traffic. So, without further ado, here's the interview. I hope you enjoy. What up, everybody? How's it going? I have my special guest here with me, Mr. Hosegood. Everybody, say welcome him to the show again.
Hey.
Hey.
Hey. It's been a while since the Star Wars one.
Yeah, it has. But that was fun, though.
It was.
I really do enjoy it. I think I don't really listen back to a lot of the interviews I do. Because, you know, I experienced them, but I think I've listened to that a couple times.
I don't know, go back and listen to yourself, you know, not only you rethink about, like, everything you say, but also just hearing your voice is kind of like, that can't really be me.
Yeah, you tend to sound different for some reason than how you think you sound.
Yeah.
So how you doing, man?
Doing good. Just got off work.
Good day, rough day?
Hey, it was a good day. Yeah, I was went by pretty fast, which is good. I mean, it was like an 8 or 9 hour day, but it's a normal day. But it went by pretty fast, so that's always a good day.
I was falling asleep at work today. I only got like 4 hours of sleep last night. It was pretty crazy. But anyways, the last time you were on the show for the Star Wars podcast, but we didn't get to know a little bit about you. We didn't get to, talk or ask a little bit about you. So I'm going to ask just some general questions so the audience out here know who you are.
Okay.
All right. So where were you born?
Born here in Lakeland.
So you're a Polk County boy.
Yep, all my life. The road that I live on, my great-grandparents moved there on that road, West Bella Vista. Bought, a good size of that road, and then over the years, as each generation's risen up, my great-grandpa, he had split off parts of his property to different parts of the family. But it's still, pretty much a whole little section of the road is all, within family. You got cousins on one side, grandparents on the other side.
Really?
Yeah.
That is actually pretty cool. Are y'all all, have you lived in the same house all your life?
Same house. My parents moved into that house right after they had my brother, which my brother's 3 years older than me.
So when they had him, they moved into that house.
So it's been, they've been in that house for 26 years. Yeah.
I don't think I've ever been in a house that long. Ever. I was raised in Polk County, Frostproof, but I wasn't born here. So it's always, you can tell when Polk County raised, they just have a little gleam to them. But, alright, so you were born in Lakeland. Where'd you go to school? Lakeland High?
I was homeschooled until 5th grade. And 5th grade was whenever McKeel first opened up their elementary school downtown Lakeland. And so I was the first graduating class of 5th grade. I didn't go into 6th grade in McKeel. I went back to homeschooling. And I was homeschooled till 9th grade. And then 9th grade, I got an invitation to go back to McKeel. So I went to McKeel for 9th grade. And then still didn't feel right going to public school. Went back homeschooling. So, but 11th and 12th grade, I went to Polk State, their high school. So I was able to get some of my college work done alongside of, high school.
Yeah, I noticed a lot of the kids are doing that at the church.
It
seniors.
Saves you a lot of money.
Yeah.
I mean, especially if you really tackle it head on. Me, it was kind of new, so it's like I was doing half high school, half college. But then looking back, I could have taken all college classes, and they would have counted it as part of my high school curricular, which if I had known that, would have cut down time on how long it took me to get my AA. So, but I mean, it was a good experience between 11th and 12th grade. Got a handful of college classes out of the way without having to pay for them.
What up, everybody? How's it going? I have my special guest here with me, Mr. Hosegood. Everybody, say welcome him to the show again.
Hey.
Hey.
Yeah. It's been a while since the Star Wars one.
Yeah, it has. But that was fun, though.
It was.
I really do enjoy it. I think I don't really listen back to a lot of the interviews I do, because I experienced them. But I think I've listened to that a couple times.
I don't know. Go back and listen to yourself. Not only you rethink about everything you said, but also just hearing your voice is kind of that can't really be me.
Yeah, you tend to sound different for some reason than how you think you sound.
Yeah.
So how you doing, man?
Doing good. Just got off work.
Good day, rough day?
Hey, it was a good day. Yeah, I was went by pretty fast, which is good. I mean, it was like an 8 or 9 hour day, but it's a normal day. But it went by pretty fast, so that's always a good day.
I was falling asleep at work today. I only got like 4 hours of sleep last night. It was pretty crazy. But anyways, the last time you were on the show for the Star Wars podcast, but we didn't get to know a little bit about you. We didn't get to, talk or ask a little bit about you. So I'm going to ask just some general questions so the audience out here know who you are.
Okay.
All right. So where were you born?
Born here in Lakeland.
So you're a Polk County boy.
Yep, all my life. The road that I live on, my great grandparents moved there on that road, West Bella Vista. Bought, a good size of that road, and then over the years, as each generation's risen up, my great grandpa, he had split off parts of his property to different parts of the family. But it's still like pretty much a whole little section of the road is all, within family. You got cousins on one side, grandparents on the other side.
Really?
Yeah.
That is actually pretty cool. Are y'all all have you lived in the same house all your life?
Same house. My parents moved into that house right after they had my brother, which my brother's 3 years older than me.
So when they had him, they moved into that house.
So it's been, they've been in that house for 26 years. Yeah.
I don't think I've ever been in a house that long. Ever. I was raised in Polk County, frostproof, but I wasn't born here. So it's always, you can tell when Polk County raised, they just have a little gleam to them. But, alright, so you were born in Lakeland. Where'd you go to school? Lakeland High?
I was homeschooled until 5th grade. And 5th grade was whenever McKeel first opened up their elementary school downtown Lakeland. And so I was the first graduating class of 5th grade. I didn't go into 6th grade in McKeel. I went back to homeschooling. And I was homeschooled till 9th grade. And then 9th grade, I got an invitation to go back to McKeel. So I went to McKeel for 9th grade. And then still didn't feel right going to public school. Went back homeschooling. So, but 11th and 12th grade, I went to Polk State, their high school. So I was able to get some of my college work done alongside of, high school.
Yeah, I noticed a lot of the kids are doing that at the church.
It
seniors.
saves you a lot of money.
Yeah.
I mean, especially if you really tackle it head on. Me, it was kind of new, so it's like I was doing half high school, half college. But then looking back, I could have taken all college classes, and they would have counted it as part of my high school curricular, which if I had known that would have cut down time on how long it took me to get my AA. So, but I mean, it was a good experience between 11th and 12th grade. Got a handful of college classes out of the way without having to pay for them.
Yeah, I think I've only got my AA. I'm trying to get my bachelor's, but...
Yeah, I wouldn't mind getting my bachelor's, but just for now, it's kind of like, I got my AA, let's, start taking a few steps forward. If I need my bachelor's, I'll definitely tackle that once it comes to it.
So what are you wanting to do?
I got my AA in video production, and I've just always been fascinated by video and, the art of storytelling and stuff like that. I don't really know which field of video, whether it's directing or being on set, helping out, or maybe being in post-production. But, somewhere out there. I know I've helped at the church with working their cameras. I've helped Kids Zone with them filming some of their lessons for the kids. So, but it's...
Do you video edit as well?
What is it?
Do you edit video as well? Can you put stuff together?
For all my homeschooling, not my homeschooling, my homework while I was at Polk State, I had to, film and edit and all of it myself and submit it as homework. But at the church, it's all just, I'm sitting there at the camera filming the pastor preaching, and it goes into the sound room, and Jonathan's the one that does all the final stuff. And that's what you usually see on their website.
Okay. Because I try to do video editing, and I'm not really good at much. I scrap here and there, putting the podcast together. I figured out because most of it's just audio.
Yeah. Well, video editing itself is not that hard because I've done I've done some videos for my family. I did a 10-minute video interviewing all my dad's friends for his 50th. And then for my mom's 50th, I couldn't do a 10-minute interview just because how many friends he has, and it ended up being a 2-hour video.
Oh, wow.
It took a long time to edit all that together, but editing itself isn't that hard. It's once you get into like actual like special effects and changing the lighting in a scene. That's where I would rather just push it off to someone else.
Yeah, I got some videos that I'm gonna be doing here for a company I started working for. So with my Star-Lord attire, so it's gonna be cool. All right. So how tall are you?
I honestly do not know. I've never cared to like measure my height, but I do know I have some friends that are 6'6", 6'7". I'm just a few inches shorter than them, and I'm definitely taller than everybody who claims they're 6 feet tall. So I want to say I'm 6'4", 6'5".
I'd say about 6'5", because I'm like 6.
I mean, I honestly, I think the last time I measured my height was whenever I went to the doctor back in 9th grade. That's only because you have to do those mandatory checkups before you start going to a public school. I mean, even back in 9th grade, I was like close to 6. So.
All right, and is everyone else in your family pretty tall? Or did you get that gene?
I inherited most of it. Whenever people see me for the first time after knowing my dad for a while, they're like, "There's no way that's his son," because I'm like, my dad like comes up to my shoulder, if that. Like,
wow. Okay.
My mom's a little bit taller than him. My dad's...
Your dad is tall, then.
Yeah.
He's not tall as you, but he's tall.
My brother, he's close to my height, but I'm still a good deal taller than him. Most of my genes probably came from my mom's side of the family, because some of her grandparents had, a good deal of height, but as far as, like, within the last 2 generations, I'm kind of the tallest person so far. So.
And how long have you and your family going to the church?
They've been going to Family Worship Center almost since the beginning.
Another one of those beginning families.
Well, my parents got married the same year that Family Worship Center started.
Wow, okay.
But they moved to Orlando for my dad's job. But after a couple years, they moved back to Lakeland, moved into the house that we're living in now. And ever since they moved back, which is probably late 80s, is whenever they started going to Family Worship Center.
Yeah, Steven, his family's been there since the beginning, too. That's pretty cool how there's a small group of people who've been going there since the beginning. So, alright. So, obviously, you said you're into videoing, as far as, like, shooting scene movies and stuff like that. So, is that the reason why you're into, like, movies and comics and all that stuff?
Not exactly. It's the other way around.
That stuff is the reason why you're into...
Yes.
Oh.
No, yeah. Growing up, my grandpa... I mean, this was back whenever a kid's ticket at a theater was like $3-4.
Yeah.
My grandpa, every Saturday, if there was a new movie out that was G or PG, he would like just call my mom and be like, "Hey, come and pick up the kids." Because my grandpa lives like 15 minutes away, so he'll like just suddenly just pick us up. It's like, "Hey, we're going to the movies." And he would take us. And the funniest thing is he would sleep throughout the entire movie. Every Saturday, without fail. And at the very end of the movie, we'll wake him up. He's like, "That was the best $5 nap I've ever had." But anytime there wasn't a new movie out, he would take us to Barnes & Nobles and give us like a $5 limit, whatever. I think after a couple of months, I had the entire Hardy Boys collection, like all 40 some of them. So that sort of piqued my interest in both movies and books. Growing up, I used to, read books like it was nothing, like a new book every week. Nowadays, I try to, but it takes me a while to read a book. But I still, constantly movies and all this stuff, stories and comic books. And so then, whenever it came to me going to Polk State, they're like, "Okay, these are the current degrees that we have in this program, just your general education. You have this, this, and this. You have video editing or graphic design." I'm like, "Video editing, sounds interesting. Sounds like something I could get into." And, once I start taking classes, I still have a ton to learn. I'm not that good. But it's still interesting just to see the whole aspect of, like, where a story starts and then it gets made into either a book or a screenplay, and then that gets transferred to the company hires the director it's just a whole line of stuff, just a whole timeline of how a story just develops from one thing to the next.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, like, I'm a story person too. Like, I'll watch the movie, but if it's not a good story, I'm not like, the effects were awesome.
People, oh yeah, no, that
was an awesome movie. Why, man? Did you see the fight scene, the effects? But if the storyline's not good, I'll totally say it was a okay movie, but I didn't get storyline.
Yeah,
and like a lot of people don't. Like, if it's a really good movie, that movie stink because it didn't have a lot of CGI or blah, 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 but it was a good story. I'll say it was a great movie.
Honestly.
Because I understand the storyline.
Yeah, there are a few movies that I own that, like, I'll watch them and rewatch them just because of the story. There's some movies that I'll like the way the director captured it. Maybe it wasn't the best story, but just, like, the way, like, Alejandro, whatever the heck his last name is, he's one of the last two best directors. He won for Birdman and Revenant. He has such an eye for how to work the camera, and I love those two movies. Birdman, story-wise, I didn't really care for it, but just like the visual of like how it was like a fluid shot all the way through. But then there's other movies like Fast and Furious movies, don't really have much of a story at all, but it's awesome. Just one of those movies where you're like, you know, I love this movie just because of how, like, grand it was, and it's
like, it has a storyline, but you gotta watch from the beginning.
Yes.
And you gotta understand where all the character, because they're trying to build character, because I think even...
Well, there's plenty of story that's built over 7 going on 8 movies, but as far as each individual movie, there's not much story. It's one of those kinds of, like, you have to watch each one to get the story.
Yeah. Because even in this, because Too Fast, Too Furious, they had Tej, Ludacris's. Yeah. He was no techie in that one. No techie, all of a sudden he's a tech. I was like, whatever. I had a life before I was racing.
Even then, he's still not the best techie. He's just kind of...
He's like, I had a life before I was racing. I'm like, whatever, bro. I was like, they just wanted to keep him in there, but they needed a tech guy.
Yeah. I'm curious how these. Did you hear they've already put on for like 3 more Fast and Furious?
Yeah, they're supposed to go to 10. Why not? You got to 7. Just
I don't know. They said they wanted to. Whenever Paul Walker was still alive, they had already started working on the storyline for the next one. So they're like, okay, well maybe the next one will be the last one, just so we can finish the storyline that Paul Walker was already trying to tell. But then Universal was like, no, we got 2 more movies. Like, all right.
No, you spend all this money and you make 7, just go to 10 and then end it.
But then with that attitude, it's like, well, let's just go to 15. You know, Vin Diesel's still like, even if Vin Diesel kicks it, I mean, we can follow The Rock. That guy's not going anywhere.
The sequel savior. Because all of a sudden,
it was, it's funny because between 2009 and 2012, every movie he was in was a sequel. Mm-hmm.
He saved G.I. Joe. I liked the first one. It was because it was more of the G.I. Joe style. The second one was more of a not so much of it. Yeah. And then I hate that they killed Duke. It just makes no sense. Apparently they're supposed to do a third one, but we'll see. But all right. So this podcast we're going to talk about the new Batman vs Superman movie that's going to be coming to theaters.
15 days.
All right. And I'm excited.
Yeah, I mean, Batman vs Superman, I mean, it's kind of got pros and cons of it, because this movie, even though they've already started with, they're in pre-production right now with Justice League. They're about halfway through filming Wonder Woman, and they've already filmed and they're editing Suicide Squad right now. So they've already sort of got their whole cinematic universe going, but really this is the crutch of the whole thing. Man of Steel sure introduced us to Superman, but this is the first one where it actually expands and so I'm hoping it does good. Just because of how many times it's been pushed back. I mean, because if we was going off the original timeline, this movie would have come out 1.5 years ago.
Sure.
But then it got pushed back because of production stuff. And then it was supposed to come out at the same time as...
Civil War?
No. It was supposed to come out at the same time as Star Wars, so they pushed it back. And then whenever they did that, it was supposed to come out same time as Civil War. So then they pulled it forward a little bit. So now it's kind of like just in between. But I'm still excited though, Jimmy, because it's the first time you're going to see the world's finest on live screen. You know, world's finest. If y'all don't know, it's Wonder Woman, Superman, and Batman.
I'm pretty excited.
Got the Trinity.
Pretty excited about it. All right, so before we get into that conversation, I'm gonna quiz you on actors who play Batman and actors who play Superman. All right, so I didn't go past.
Wait, are we doing animated? Also,
no. This is television.
Because there's been so many who've done Superman.
This is television and film.
Okay, yeah, I can do that.
Christopher Reed forward. We're not going back because I don't even know anybody past.
Well, there was only there was only one other person who did him before, and it was a
black and white.
Yeah, black and white movie.
And then we're doing Batman, Adam West forward, and there's haven't been no Batman television series. So.
Well, there was one before Adam West. So it was a little black and white thing, but. Yeah. But Adam West was the first actor who really made an impact with that character.
With no muscles in his suit.
Huh?
With no muscles built in his suit. He said that.
Yeah, but back then, everything was more brawn rather than actually looking scary.
Yeah. Alright, so for the Superman one, there was...
Do you want me to name them all?
Hold on. The Superman one, there was 3 TV shows.
3 TV? Yes, there was.
There's 3 TV shows. There was Lois and Clark, The Adventures of Superman, Smallville, and then Superboy, The Adventures of Superboy.
Yeah, that lasted
I'll give you a pass on The Adventures of Superboy because I don't even know. I literally had to look up who. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot there was that series.
Well, it lasted. I think it was
4 seasons.
I think 4 seasons. Wow, I thought it was shorter than
because
that.
the first season. Some guy named John Hams Newton played Superboy, but then the next 3 seasons was some guy named Gerard Christopher.
Yeah, that's totally works. Replacing your main character.
Yeah, but it lasted 4 seasons, and it got positive reviews. It was kind of cheesy, like
but
Christopher Reeve.
Wasn't that like in the 80s or something? 80s, 90s?
I think it was the early 90s. Before the Lois and Clark, The Adventures of Superman. Alright, so let's start from Christopher Reeves on. TV and Superman. Obviously, I gave you Christopher Reeves.
Christopher Reeves was in the, what was it, 70s? Something like that. And then after that, you had the Lois and Clark TV show in the 80s, which was Dean Cain. And then you had The Adventures of Superman, which was...
The Adventures of Superman, Lois and Clark, The Adventures of Superman, that's Dean Cain.
Okay.
Yeah, then.
I don't know who played in that one. But then after that...
That was Dean Cain, you just said it.
Dean Cain? Okay, yeah. Did I have the other one? I guess I had him confused. Dean Cain was in the Lois and Clark, Who was the other one? The other TV show? But after that, starting 2001 through 2011, was Tom Welling, was Smallville. And then you had, in 2010, I think it was, you had Brandon Ruth played in The Return of Superman. Which, funny, the finale of Smallville, the suit that he wears, it's the same exact suit that Brandon Ruth had in Return of Superman.
Just a little smaller.
Yes. And then, 2012, you had Henry Cavill.
All right, you got them all. Who is Brandon Ruth? Who's he playing now?
Oh, right now he's playing
TV show.
Adam, very popular. But I'm trying to think of his actual name.
Oh, you could say Adam. That's fine.
Yeah, Adam. Ray something.
Palmer.
Don't know his last name.
Yeah, he's actually doing good, killing it on being
that character.
Yeah, he's doing
pretty good.
All right, Batman. Obviously, I give you Adam West.
Batman. Oh, dude, there's so many. I think there's 7 of them. Okay, you have Adam West, which played the Batman Classic TV show. And then you had Michael Keaton in the Batman, and then Batman Returns. and then you had George Clooney, and then Val Kilmer, and then Christian Bale, and then I cannot think of the kid's name in the Gotham TV show.
Yeah, that doesn't count. He's not Batman. He's
Yeah,
Bruce
that
Wayne.
don't count. Yeah.
He's Bruce Wayne.
Yeah. I think that's like an alternate universe version, though, because like you have all the super villains first, and then this Batman. So they could be like sort of like a different version. So technically, if we were doing Bruce Wayne, then you got that guy.
Yeah, just
and then you have Ben Affleck.
Yeah. All right, so you actually did pretty good. Yeah, because remember, the whole reason why Batman became Batman is because the city was corrupt. So yeah, all those.
Well, yeah, because it was Joe something was the guy that in most versions of the Batman storyline it was Joe something. He was a criminal. He killed his parents on the street. But
Gotham was all messed up before then, anyway.
Huh?
Gotham was messed up before.
It was plenty messed up. But that's sort of like what kickstarted Bruce's whole thing about crime and vengeance and justice.
That's what the Gotham show's about. They're trying to bring that darkness.
I mean, unless you're going with the whole the New 52 Scott Snyder version with the Court of the Owls, then that kind of changes the story.
All those new stuff, I really like.
Court of the Owls is pretty good. Like the whole thing about Thomas Wayne being involved and even previous ancestors.
Or Thomas Wayne, alternate universe Batman. Have you seen pictures of that?
Flashpoint Paradox.
Yeah. Did you see the cartoon of that?
Yeah, I haven't.
That's pretty cool. I liked it.
It was. I liked it. I liked how in that version it was Martha Wayne who became the Joker.
Yeah.
And then Thomas Wayne was the one who became Batman, and
because Bruce.
And he didn't care about killing people. He was just
yeah, it was pretty bad. All right, so let's get into this before we take our break. All right, so let's get into Superman real quick. Which one of the series or movies did you really like?
Well, I've out of the Christopher Reeves, I've only seen the first two.
I've only seen the first one.
Yeah. They were good for their time, but I honestly like Man of Steel, just because that's the first movie that's actually captured Superman as he is, the super being, from sort of the dilemma of him being the last of his race and stuff like that. I mean, some people get onto about the whole fighting thing and the weird storylines and all this stuff that, they didn't care for.
What'd you think about the whole underwear situation? That was a big debacle. He didn't have underwear.
I don't care about that.
I loved it that there wasn't there because it looks retarded.
Well, yeah, it does. Well, you're in the 21st century,
yeah.
But
it was cool in the comic books, but. Alright, we're back. Alright, so Smallville, we were just talking about that. I just like how I liked season 5 when they season 5? No, season 8 when they brought in Doomsday. I just didn't like after they brought in this big villain and then the last episode they kill him like that.
Well, I was expecting them to bring him back because Doomsday cannot die.
Mm-hmm.
In the comic books, Doomsday, he becomes immune to whatever killed him previously, which makes him seem invincible, which kind of is after so many years of first seeing Superman. But what I thought was dumb is how they brought the black kryptonite to split between the human side of Doomsday and Doomsday himself, which is completely against the comic books, because Doomsday is actually... Well, you got two different versions of Doomsday. They kind of follow that version of Doomsday in Smallville, where it was Zod's and what's-her-name's son. But then there's another version of Doomsday, which is the version I think they're going to follow in Batman v Superman, where Doomsday is actually a scientific experiment of Kryptonian DNA.
Well, I think at this point it would be Lex's. It looks like it's gonna be some Lex is gonna be just some experiment.
And you see in the most recent trailer, and hopefully this isn't too much spoiler, but you see Lex Luthor's character standing over Zod's dead body in a lab. Mm-hmm. So whether this is the actual Doomsday that you see at the end of that trailer, or it's just some...
Which is, by the way, not his final form. Because everyone is going crazy. Oh, he looks retarded. It's not his final form.
But like I said, every time Doomsday dies, he's immune to the previous way. Like, he builds over time. It's like every time he dies, he upgrades. So, yeah, obviously he can look different over time. They can, explain that away. Yeah, I still wish he had the whole go-to thing with the bones sticking out of his back.
I bet eventually he will.
Yeah.
Zack Snyder's... I like what he's doing. So
Zack Snyder is more of a... obviously, he's very much a visual director, but I've noticed he tries to stick to a better story. Like, I mean, you go back and look at 300 or Watchmen, sure, it was very grandiose and, visual, but story-wise, it was still pretty good.
Oh, yeah, a lot of stuff is pretty good.
I think his only downside was, like, Sucker Punch, because that was, like... That was more visual rather than anything else.
It didn't really make any sense to me.
Yeah.
But, alright, so, what'd you think of the 2006 Superman Returns? Bryan Singer, the X-Men, the guy who did X-Men 1, 2, the recent one.
It was alright, because they was basically trying to do a soft reboot of kind of like how Days of Future Past did with the X-Men, where it didn't technically erase anything, but it kind of like redirected it. They was trying to do that same thing back in 2006 with Christopher Reeve's Superman, those 4 Superman, with having him suddenly come back from after flying off to try to find Krypton, and then coming back. I think, first of all, that was his downside, because this is nearly 20 years later, and you're suddenly trying to bring back that Superman. They should have tried off, maybe not doing an origin, but they should have tried to bend their own thing. I thought it was good as far as like a Superman, just because since I know plenty about Superman, I don't need all that backstory. But at the same time, it felt like there was something missing. I mean, I have the thing, but just the whole thing between Lex Luthor finding the Kryptonite and trying to build his own island. It was just weird. Like, it was good, but still weird.
I like the way Brandon played Superman. I think he did a pretty good job.
Yeah.
Kevin Spacey, as far as being Lex Luthor, I think he did a pretty good job, but the whole Kryptonite Island was stupid. Not gonna lie. It was pretty dumb.
Kevin Spacey is a really good actor.
Yeah. I think he did a good job, I think it was the storyline.
It honestly, the whole thing was just the whole story of Superman Returns, kind of like... It could have done good if it had a better story.
Alright. You've seen the Adam West TV shows? I used to watch them when I was a kid.
I haven't seen them all the way through, but I've seen a few episodes here and there. It's kind of funny. I mean, looking back at it, just a few episodes I have seen, it was just like, this was such a hit back in the day. It's like, it's like, to the Batmobile. And then every time they was climbing up a building, it was really, you can look at it and see, well, they just took the floor and made it look like a building, and then flipped the camera to make it look like there was...
Yeah. Favorite other, well, obviously, Ben Affleck, we haven't seen him yet. But favorite, your top 2 Batman actors.
Top 2, that's easy. Just because there's only 4 of them, and 2 of them were failures. It was definitely Michael Keaton and Christian Bale. Michael Keaton, he had a classic Batman of his time. I liked Christian Bale most just because it was a more recent version of Batman. More hardcore, more all this stuff. The only downside to that version of Batman, though, is they didn't make him like this genius like he's supposed to be in the comic books. He was still super awesome at fighting and the whole justice and the whole tormented past thing. It was very good. They kind of rushed the ending, which kind of made Dark Knight Returns kind of... I still like the whole trilogy as it is. But I wish Batman would have been more of his own thing rather than relying on Alfred and Lucius.
Yeah, to build.
But that's the one thing they promised in this new Batman that Ben Affleck is playing is that he's going to be a lot like they took most of their inspiration from like the more recent versions of Batman from the comic books, but also the Arkham games. They said they wanted his newer fighting style to be like in the Arkham games.
All right, I'm about to blow your mind with my Batmans. I don't like Michael Keaton. I watched both movies and I didn't think he was good. Everyone's like, "Oh, the best part in the first Batman from 1989 is when he says, 'I'm Batman.'" I didn't think he was good. I like Val Kilmer.
You like Val Kilmer?
I love Batman Forever. I've watched that movie at least probably over 10 times. Yeah. I like Val Kilmer. I like the way Chris O'Donnell played Batman. George Clooney stunk.
Chris O'Donnell played Robin.
That's what I mean. Chris O'Donnell, sorry. Robin. I like the way he played Robin.
Well, yeah, Batman and Robin in Batman Forever was good. But
I didn't like Batman and Robin. I like Batman Forever. I didn't like the other two Batmans before it. Yeah. I just like, but that's my opinion. And then, but I also love Christian Bale.
Yes, but it's just Batman Forever. You had, I'm trying to think of the villains that were in that one. I know it was
Two-Face and Riddler.
Two-Face and Riddler. So it was the Clooney one that had Frost.
Yeah.
Mr. Freeze.
Mr. Freeze and Poison Ivy and Bane.
That one, okay. Jim Carrey did good in Batman Forever. I like that. Two-Face in Batman Forever, Tommy Lee Jones was a little over the top.
I think, yeah, a little bit. I think if he would have been a little more like tough and mean, like he was in the new, yeah, I think that would have been more better.
Yeah. No, I mean Michael Keaton. Whenever I say Michael Keaton, I mean the first movie. The second movie was alright, but it just the whole sidetrack with Catwoman was a little off.
Yeah, like. I didn't say I didn't like the first one.
Well, yeah, no, you're just saying you liked Val more.
I just like Val more. Like, I thought when they said George Clooney was going to be Batman and Robin, I was like, what? I liked the way he played Batman, Val Kilmer. Now, as far as the way he looked, he didn't look like Bruce Wayne. But the way he played Batman, I liked. Like, whenever he wasn't in the suit, it was kind of like, you're not a great Bruce Wayne. But he was a good Batman to me. So, but then I love Christian Bale. Did you read the newest article? Christian Bale saying he didn't think he played
he wished he had done better with his character. I don't know. I think Dark Knight will always hold up as one of the best Batman movies. I mean, obviously, there's plenty to be said about Dark Knight Rises, but I still thought it was good. Yeah. But Dark Knight itself, with the Joker, I mean, that's going to hold up as one of the better Batman movies over time. I mean, we have yet to see Ben Affleck's version. But
Jared Leto. So far, so good. We'll see. Alright, so let's get into this new movie that's coming out in like 2 weeks. Alright, what are you most excited about watching this movie? Oh. Obviously, other than Batman and Superman and all these characters coming in finally.
Yes, finally. I'm really excited because, like, I'm just as big of a Marvel fan as I am a DC fan. But just to be able to see what DC is trying to do, they're trying to sort of take what the same success that Marvel's done with their movies and try to make their own DC thing. Obviously, they're constantly saying, no, we're going to do our own thing. But, I mean, they're pretty much doing the same thing. They're trying to build up. But this Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice is gonna sort of be the foothold. I mean, obviously, Man of Steel was before that, but Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice is going to be the foothold of this upcoming, cinematic universe, which is very exciting to just see all that come to pass. But they have a lot riding on it, and I mean, you've got so much going on. You're going to have Superman and Batman fighting. Then you're going to have Wonder Woman showing up. I don't think Wonder Woman's going to show up until around the time Doomsday does. But then you also have, the whole Lex Luthor thing. And
I think she shows up at that party.
Well, she
remember
does
she's
show up
not
at the
good.
party, but I'm
Yeah.
just saying, like, her as Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
I mean, as Diana, I'm sure she's going to show up a few times, but... And then, they said there's going to be a cameo from Aquaman and The Flash.
And Cyborg.
And Cyborg? They better have just cameos, because there's always so much going on this. Like, you even have Batman's nightmares. Like, in the trailers, they're saying that whole scene from the Super Bowl commercial where Superman rips his cowl off, and Bruce Wayne is staring into Superman, and Superman looks like he's about to like snap his neck or something. They said that's a part of a nightmare that Batman has, and because you see that it's a completely different setting, it's all in the desert.
That's a cool suit, by the way.
Yeah, his desert
desert
storm suit is
awesome.
But in that same sort of setting with the desert storm suit and everything, you see Batman coming up on this ledge, and he's looking out in this desert, and there's almost like a metropolis type city like overhead, but it's completely desolated. And in the ground of the desert, you see Darkseid's symbol. So like, I don't know if Batman's like he's receiving like signals or something, because like honestly he could be receiving, like, if anybody's seen Smallville, Apocalypse, the planet, kind of like has sort of this telepathic thing.
That would be so awesome if the movie ends with the planet,
and then
bam, the movie's over. No, you just see the planet. You don't need to see Darkseid. Just a planet, and then the movie ends. That would be awesome.
Well, you know what they're saying is the first Justice League movie. It's going to be Flash, Cyborg, Aquaman, Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, all fighting Darkseid. They've already confirmed Darkseid's the first villain. But some people are speculating that maybe Brainiac or someone could be in Justice League 2, because they already have Justice League 2 planned, and
that'd be cool too.
The Green Lanterns aren't supposed to show up until Justice League 2, which is why some people are thinking Brainiac, because Brainiac could be like coming from like a distant planet, because Brainiac is a droid prototype that the Kryptonians made, which turns evil because he wants to absorb all the knowledge of the universe. And they're thinking like the Green Lanterns like follow him to Earth to try to like help out, which would be really interesting. But anyways, Batman v Superman. This is really going to set up a lot. It's the second longest comic book movie of all time. They've already announced that it's going to be like 2 hours and 35 minutes. The longest one I think was Dark Knight. I'm not sure, but yeah, obviously it's going to need a long run time. Just because even if they just sort of scrape over all the stuff, we've been talking over the last 2 minutes about all the stuff's going on, but it's just going to be exciting just to what they could do with it, all this stuff.
Yeah, I'm definitely like fanboying out. So, and then
we see how far Marvel has gotten over the last
Spider-Man coming on a new trailer today.
Yes,
it's gonna be amazing
because Marvel was finally able to get back from Sony, the rights that they sold to them 15 years ago. A lot of people are kind of like, oh no, not Spider-Man again. This is the third reboot in the last 6 years. But it'll be exciting. But just to think that within 8 years, Marvel has made 13 movies. If DC is going to be anything like that, like, it's not going to be for long before we have like 3 major, universes going on with the X-Men universe, the Marvel universe, and the DC universe.
How do you feel about DC not putting their TV show characters, which are a big hit, in their movies?
I think that's a good thing. Here's why. They're good. And for the most part. There's a few times where it seems like the writers are kind of slacking off on story. Flash Season 1 was really good. Arrow Season 1 was really good. Season 4 of Arrow has gotten, they've sort of kind of stepped up the game with the whole Damien Dark thing. But 2 and 3 were just kind of with Arrow. But if they would have tied it in around Season 1 of Arrow, I would have been okay with that. Because Season 1 of Arrow was very, dark. It was he was still getting over the fact that he's been on the island for 5 years. It felt like it could have connected. But then once he got into the whole drama between Felicity Smoke and, Laurel, and then it just...
They're trying to get girls to watch, okay?
Huh?
They're trying to get girls to watch.
I know, but just the whole Olicity thing, it just got... There's so much drama going on. And the same thing with Flash. Season 1 of Flash was good. But then, drama gets into it, and it's just...
Does Flash remind you a little bit of Smallville? How the tone of it is?
Yes, because...
That's why I love it.
Because for the first 7... Actually, really, all 10 seasons of Smallville, every time Clark or, Superman wanted to do something, he would always run. Mm-hmm. Like, he still had a fear of heights, so he could never really fly.
Yeah.
He hadn't gotten over that yet, so, it definitely feels like that, because every time he would do something in a TV show, he would run. Except for him, it was the red-blue blur.
Yeah, but it's more of a lighter tone. Like, Arrow's darker, but Flash is a little more lighter. The characters kind of seem...
Yeah.
Like, it's more similar to Smallville. That's what it's supposed
to be, because... now, I'm hoping in, maybe Season 5 or something, he actually starts becoming Arrow. Because Arrow, even though he's very much kind of like Batman with the bow and arrow, he still has a lot of sarcasm and humor and...
He's getting some humor this year. He's starting to...
And this year, he's lighting up a little bit. Did you see Legends of Tomorrow?
Yes, I love that show.
That the episode where they go into 2046.
I didn't like that they didn't put a long wig on him because he just kind of looked retarded with just the beard, but nothing was...
He had that Luke Skywalker look going.
Yeah.
I thought it was alright. But, no.
When he had the hood on in the beard, it was like, oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. No, Stephen Amell said that if they don't make it past season 5, he's definitely going to tell the people that the last episode of season 5 he better walk on set with the goatee. When they ended up making that promise with him having the goatee as old man Oliver. But no, I don't think the TV show should have been connected or should be connected. I don't.
I think if they should
because Arrow's already 4 seasons in. Flash is 2 seasons in. Flash has already gone into 3 different parallel universes. He's gone into Earth 2 and Earth 3.
And Supergirl.
Earth 3 is Supergirl. So they could at some point, which would be very dumb, but they could have it to where maybe Earth 5 or Earth 6, somewhere, one of the 52 Earths, could be, the cinematic universe version. But I just don't see them connecting. It just doesn't. And they've said time and time again, they're not going to do it. They're not going to connect.
But all right, well, I'm excited. March 25th.
Yes.
Mark your calendars, or March 24th. We're going to go to the midnight premiere.
Oh,
but
it depends. I usually work Thursday, but if I have Thursday off, I'm definitely going to the midnight show. Just like I do with most major movies, or at least try to.
All right. Well, I do appreciate you coming on again. You're gonna be like my movie expert. I kind of like that about you because you have your real knowledge when it comes to movies.
Well, so far we've done 2 very nerdy things: Star Wars
and I like it. It's different.
DC.
So it's a kind of a lighter tone.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, guys, I'll be right back. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed that interview. It was fun. Like I said, I really do enjoy talking to Brandon about comic book stuff. But I hope you go out this Friday and tomorrow, actually, as I record this, and go enjoy that Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. Apparently, the reviews have come out. I'm not even going to talk about them. I haven't even read them. I don't care to read them. I don't want nothing to do with them. That's it. So, but a little more important than all this Sunday is Easter. And, I know as Christians we should always, celebrate Jesus. But this is like Christmas and Easter are the 2 times out of the year where we just got to take the time to remember, man, if it wasn't for what God did, sending Jesus to come here and sacrifice himself for us, for our sin, for our mistakes, we wouldn't be where we are, you know? From the beginning, when Adam and Eve messed up, you know, we didn't experience God's presence for thousands of years, you know? And when Jesus, you know, when God sacrificed Jesus, and when Jesus was sacrificed on the cross, we were able to experience and have a relationship with the Creator again. You know, so God, I thank you for Jesus. You know, I thank you for, you know, sending your son to die on a cross for me, for an example to be, you know, to be led by. You know, I think sometimes we tend to forget where we come from, because life can, you know, we can have our good moments in life where everything's great, and we just forget about how important Jesus is. Lord Jesus, our Savior Jesus, the one who saved us, the one who made us who we are. You know, because before we were nothing. We were sinners. But with him, you know, when Christ in us, we're stronger. We're not weak. There's a lot of things we can do when we have Jesus on our side. So just remember that this weekend when you're at church, whatever it is you're doing. If you got to play, if your pastor's preaching on the crucifixion of Christ and the rise of Christ, no other gods ever died and rose again. You know, he was man, but he was God. You know, he was perfect. You know, he's born of a virgin. Was any of you born of a virgin? I wasn't. But Jesus was. He was man and he was God. All in one. And he walked this life perfectly. That's an example we should want to follow. That's an example we should be reading up on a daily basis, seeing how Jesus lived. So with that said, I hope you guys really do enjoy this weekend. When you're at church, give it all you got. You know, not just this Sunday, but every Sunday afterwards. But, you know, since we are celebrating the sacrifice, the death, and the rise of Jesus Christ, you know, just thank him. Just keep in mind, just say, all right, thank you so much for everything you've done for me. Ever since I've had a relationship with you, ever since you came into my heart and changed my life, I just want to thank you for everything. If it wasn't for that moment, you coming into my heart, you coming and turning me from my ways, then I wouldn't be the person I am today. I wouldn't be where I'm at today. So be thankful for that. I hope you guys enjoy the show. I'm trying to do more content. But like I said, trying to get people on the show is very hard. It's not as easy as you think it would be. Some, you know, people have their reservations and stuff, and I get it. But you guys have been listening for a long time. I'm not seeing it. I don't ask the hard questions. I like encouraging people, you know, because they're, like today, for instance, at work, it was very frustrating. But just remembering, you know, just knowing that God is on my side no matter what, I think it's comforting. You know, and towards the end of the day, it was getting better. But man, it was rough for a minute there. I was about to lose it. I said in my head, I want to quit this job. But so there's another thing, you know, when things seem like they're getting harder and harder and harder, don't forget we have God to go to. I think sometimes We just get so focused on what we're doing and how it's frustrating us. We forget we have help, that's on a spiritual level, and God's going to be able to do that. So continue to pray for me, guys. Pray for my knees. My knees are killing me. And, I'm still thinking about getting a co-host. I would love to have a co-host. If I get a co-host, I will put out the best podcast you've ever heard. Because it's nice to bounce off of other people. But if I did get a co-host, I'd probably release podcasts firmly 2 to 3 times a week. 2 to 3 times a month. A week, I can't do that. So, but anyways, guys, thank you so much for listening. Thank you for being a part. Tell me what you think of the new format. Tell me if you like it. Go to my Facebook page. Do I talk too much? Do I talk too much with Nick Jeremy? And tell me what you think of the episode and the new format. All right, guys. I love you. Stay safe. If you're going to go watch the new Batman vs. Superman movie, come chat on my Facebook page with me. Tell me what you think. Until then, peace out. And remember, at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, me, Nick Jeremy Cintron, I do talk too much.